I'm 74 years old. My name is David, and I need to tell you something that terrifies me. I don't know who I am. I've been alive for 74 years, and I have no idea who I really am, what I actually want, what I truly believe, because I spent my entire life trying to be whoever other people wanted me to be. I lived for their approval, their validation, their acceptance, and now I'm 74, and I'm a stranger to myself. The beginning, it started early, maybe when I was 7 or 8 years old. My father was strict, military man. Everything had to be a certain way, his way. He wanted me to be tough, disciplined, strong. Men don't cry, he'd say. Men don't show weakness. So I learned to hide my feelings, to be what he wanted, to perform masculinity the way he defined it, even when I was scared, even when I was sad, even when I just wanted to be a kid. I pushed it down. I became the son he wanted. My mother was different. She was gentle, religious. She wanted me to be good, obedient, respectful. What will people think was her constant refrain. So I learned to care desperately about what people thought, about appearances, about reputation. I became the good boy, the one who never caused trouble, the one who made his parents look good. By the time I was 10, I'd already learned the fundamental lesson that would ruin my life. Being myself wasn't acceptable, but being what others wanted, that was rewarded. High school and college. In high school, I tried to figure out what group I belonged to. The popular kids, the nerds, the athletes, the artists. I didn't know who I was. So I tried to be a little bit of everything, whatever would get people to like me. I played sports because that's what popular guys did, even though I didn't really enjoy it. I got good grades because that's what my parents expected, even though I had no idea what I actually wanted to study. I dated the girl everyone thought I should date, even though we had nothing in common. I was a chameleon, constantly shifting, constantly adapting, constantly performing, and everyone liked me. I was well liked, pleasant, easy to get along with, but I had no idea who I actually was underneath all the performance. Choosing a career. When I was 18, I had to choose a major for college. I wanted to study art. I'd always loved drawing, painting, creating things. But my father said art wasn't practical. How are you going to make money as an artist? My guidance counselor said I should go into business. You're good with people. You'd make a great businessman. My mother said I should become a doctor or lawyer. Something respectable, something we can be proud of. So I majored in business, because that's what they wanted. That's what was expected. I never asked myself what I wanted. That question didn't even occur to me. The corporate years. I graduated college in 1972, got a job at a big corporation, started climbing the ladder. I was good at it, not because I loved it, but because I was good at figuring out what people wanted and becoming that. My boss wanted someone reliable. I became the most reliable person in the office. My colleagues wanted someone friendly. I became everyone's friend. The executives wanted someone ambitious. I performed ambition perfectly. I got promoted. Again and again. By 40, I was a senior manager. By 50, a vice president. And the whole time I had no idea if I even liked what I was doing. I just knew I was good at it. Good at being what they needed. The marriage I chose. I met Susan in 1976. I was 29. She was 26. Susan was beautiful, educated, from a good family, everything my parents wanted for me. We dated for a year. Everyone said we were perfect together. You two make such a great couple. So I proposed. because that's what people expected, because she checked all the boxes of what a wife should be. Did I love her? I don't know, I thought I did. But looking back, I think I loved the idea of her. I loved that everyone approved of her. We got married in 1977. Big wedding. Everyone was so happy for us. Except I remember standing at the altar, looking at Susan and having this strange thought. Do I even know what I want in a partner? Or am I just marrying who I'm supposed to marry? I pushed the thought away. Too late now. Everyone was watching. The life I built. Susan and I had 2 children. Jennifer in 1980, Mark in 1983. We lived in the suburbs. Nice house, good schools, 2 cars, the American dream. I provided. I worked hard. I was a good father by most standards. Present at important events. Helped with homework when I had time. But was I happy? Was this the life I wanted? I never asked. The question seemed irrelevant. This was what successful people did. This was what good men provided for their families. Susan and I had a decent marriage. Not passionate, not deeply connected, but decent. We rarely fought. We were polite to each other. We functioned well as partners managing a household and raising children. But did we really know each other? Did I even know myself well enough to share myself with her? No. The midlife crisis that wasn't. When I turned 50, I had what people call a midlife crisis. I started questioning everything. My job, my marriage, my life choices. Is this all there is? I'd think. Is this what I want? I thought about quitting my job, maybe doing something different, something creative, something that felt more like me. But then I'd think, what would people say? What would my colleagues think? What would my parents think? What would Susan think? And the fear of judgment, the fear of disappointing people, the fear of not being who they expected me to be. It was paralyzing. So I stayed. I pushed down the questions. I kept performing. When my parents died, my father died when I was 55. Heart attack. He was 81. At his funeral, people talked about what a strong man he was, how disciplined, how successful in his own career. And I stood there thinking, did I ever tell him I wanted to be an artist? Did I ever tell him I felt crushed by his expectations? No, because I was too busy being the son he wanted me to be. My mother died 2 years later. She was 79. At her funeral, people talked about what a good woman she was, how devoted to her family, how concerned with propriety. And I thought, did she ever know the real me? Did I even know the real me? No. The retirement crisis. I retired at 65, 2022. After 43 years in corporate America, everyone said, finally, now you can do what you want, you've earned it. But I had no idea what I wanted. For 43 years, I'd done what the company wanted, what my bosses wanted, what the corporate culture expected. And now, suddenly, I had freedom, time, resources, and I was paralyzed. What did I want to do? What did I enjoy? What gave me purpose? I didn't know. I'd never developed those answers. I'd been so busy being what everyone else wanted that I'd never built a self, never cultivated interests or passions or dreams of my own. The empty days. The first year of retirement was the hardest year of my life. I'd wake up with nothing to do, no one to impress, no role to perform, and the emptiness was crushing. Susan would ask, what do you want to do today? So I didn't know. What do you want to do? I'd ask back, always deflecting, always looking to others to tell me what I should want. I tried hobbies, golf, because that's what retirees do. I didn't enjoy it. I tried volunteering because that's what good people do, but my heart wasn't in it. I tried traveling with Susan. We went to Europe. It was fine, but I felt like I was just going through motions, checking boxes, seeing things, because you're supposed to see them. Nothing felt authentic. Nothing felt like me, because I still didn't know who me was. The therapy I finally tried, at 68 I started seeing a therapist. Susan suggested it. She was worried about me. The therapist asked me questions I'd never been asked. What do you want, David? I didn't know. What makes you happy? I didn't know. And who are you when no one is watching? I had no answer. She said, it sounds like you've spent your life trying to be what others wanted. Have you ever asked yourself what you wanted? No, I hadn't. She said, you're 74 years old and you don't know yourself. That's tragic. She was right. I'm what I've lost. Here's what I understand now. At 74, I lost my entire life trying to be acceptable to others. I never pursued art, the thing I actually loved, because my father said it wasn't practical. I never explored different careers, because I was too afraid of what people would think if I failed. I never had authentic relationships, because I was always performing, always being the version of myself I thought people wanted. I never really knew my wife, because I never knew myself. How can you be intimate with someone when you don't even know who you are? I never really knew my children, because I was too busy being the father I thought I should be, instead of the father I actually was. I wasted 74 years living a life that wasn't mine. What 74 feels like. I'm 74 now, retired for 9 years, and I'm trying for the first time in my life to figure out who I am. It's terrifying and sad, because I should have done this when I was 20 or 30 or 40, not at 74, when most of my life is already over. I've started painting, something I wanted to do when I was 18. I'm not very good. 56 years is a long time to wait to develop a skill, but I'm doing it. Not because anyone cares, not because anyone approves, but because I think I might actually want to. I'm trying to have honest conversations with Susan about who we really are, not just the roles we've played. It's awkward, uncomfortable. We're strangers learning about each other after 47 years of marriage, but it's more real than anything we've had before. The relationship with my children. Jennifer is 44 now. Mark is 41. I called them both last year. Had conversations I should have had decades ago. I told them, I don't think you really know me, because I never let you. I was always performing, being the dad I thought I should be. Jennifer said, I always felt like you were holding back, like there was something you weren't saying. She was right. I was holding back. I was holding back me. Mark said, I never felt like I could disappoint you. You seemed so perfect, so put together. I wasn't perfect. I was terrified. Terrified of being myself, because myself might not be good enough. We're trying now, trying to have real relationships, but we're starting from scratch, building something that should have been built long ago. What I wish I'd known. Here's what I wish someone had told me when I was young. Living for other people's approval is not living, it's performing. And when you perform for long enough, you lose yourself completely. You forget there was ever a real person underneath the performance. You become a collection of other people's expectations. And when those people are gone, or when you finally have freedom from their expectations, you realize there's nothing left. No core, no self, just emptiness. My warning to you, if you're reading this and you're young or even middle-aged, please listen. Stop living for other people's approval. Stop choosing careers because someone else thinks you should. Stop dating people because they check boxes other people care about. Stop hiding who you really are because you're afraid of judgment. Yes, it's scary to be yourself. Yes, some people won't approve. Yes, you might fail. But living someone else's life is worse. So much worse. Because one day you'll be 74. And you'll look back and you'll realize you never actually lived. You just performed for an audience that didn't even care as much as you thought they did. The freedom I'm finding at 74, I'm finally starting to live for myself. I paint, even though I'm not very good. I say what I actually think, even though it makes people uncomfortable sometimes. I pursue things I'm curious about, even though they don't make sense to anyone else. And you know what? Most people don't even notice or care. All those years I spent terrified of judgment, terrified of not being who people wanted me to be, and most people were too busy with their own lives to judge me anyway. The prison I lived in was built by me. The warden was me. The bars were my own fear. The relationship with Susan and I are in couples therapy now. At 74 and 71, we're trying to figure out if we actually have a real relationship or if we've just been playing roles for 47 years. It's hard, painful. Sometimes we wonder if we should have done this decades ago. But we're trying. We're trying to know each other, really know each other. Last week, Susan told me she'd always wanted to write. She'd wanted to be a writer when she was young. Why didn't you? I asked. Because I was supposed to be a wife and mother. That's what was expected. We're both waking up to the lives we didn't live, the selves we didn't become. Better late than never, but also so much time lost. My biggest regret, I'm 74 years old. I wasted my entire life trying to be acceptable to others. And my biggest regret isn't the career I didn't choose, or the art I didn't create. My biggest regret is that I never knew myself. I never gave myself permission to exist as I actually was. I was a ghost, a performance, an empty suit walking around pretending to be a person. And now, at 74, I'm finally trying to become real. But I'm running out of time. My message to you: don't wait until you're 74 to ask yourself who you really are. Ask now, today, this moment. Who are you when no one is watching? What do you want when there's no one to impress? Stop living for their approval, their validation, their acceptance. Live for you. Be you, whoever that is. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's risky. Yes, some people won't approve. But the alternative is what I did. Spending your entire life as a stranger to yourself, never knowing who you could have been. I'm David, I'm 74 years old, and I'm just now learning who I am. Don't make my mistake.